Effort is the ultimate measure of your success. John Wooden. Hey everyone! Today I will be summarizing the book Wooden on Leadership by John Wooden and Steve Jamison. Enjoy! John Wooden was a basketball player and a coach of the UCLA basketball team who won 10 NCAA national championships, a record, including 7 in a row, also a record, 88 consecutive victories, 38 straight tournament playoff wins, and 4 perfect seasons. And this was in college basketball, where players change every season. And his 41 years worth of experience in coaching basketball are all contained in this book. So let's dive into the book to really find out what he had learned over the years and what made him so successful. So, right at the start, he tells us that an organization is a reflection of their leader. So you must build yourself first, and then you can build a strong organization. Otherwise, people will pick up the mistakes you have, and that is probably not what you want. Fix those first, and then you can become a great leader that will lead by example. You may have been wondering before you clicked on this video, bro, what are actually the responsibilities of a leader? What are the things that a leader should do? I will give you all the answers, don't worry. So the first responsibility of a leader is to lead, obviously. And to be able to lead, you must know where. And when you know where, then you must know how. And as a leader, you can choose what the where and the how is going to be. But you have to choose. Now, when you got the goal and the plan and a set of values and beliefs that you will base your decisions on, now it's time to introduce them to your team. And make sure that you tell them everything that you expect them to know. And be aware that the fact that you told it to them doesn't mean that they know it. But don't overwhelm them with all the rules and the plans and all these things all at once. That can and will cause indigestion. It's the same as if you would try to eat a whole pig all at once. Provide it to them in a serving size portions to avoid indigestion. To illustrate what I've just said, I will tell you how Mr. Wooden did it. At the start of each season, he would give the players, new and returning ones, a talk where he would clearly state his goal, which was not to win, as many coaches would say, but to succeed. And he defined success as a peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing that you made the effort to become the best of which you are capable. This was what he strived for and wanted the players to strive for, to become the best versions of themselves. This was the goal, the destination. But the destination is meaningless without some sort of directions on how to get there. So he also created a map, the Pyramid of Success. It consists of 15 blocks. Each block represents a personal quality that is needed to achieve success as he defined it. Each block is carefully put in its place, and there is a reason behind its position. Here is the pyramid in its full glory. The foundation is made up of 5 blocks. Industriousness and enthusiasm are the cornerstones, the most important part of the foundation, and between them are friendship, loyalty, and cooperation. The second tier is made up of self-control, alertness, initiative, and intentness, another crucial components of the pyramid. The heart of the pyramid consists of another 3 blocks: condition, skill, and team spirit. After you've put in the time and effort and acquired these 12 blocks, 12 personal qualities, the 4th tier should come by itself out of the blue. It is a gift from the Pyramid of Success, and that is poise and confidence. But beware of confidence. It has to be kept an eye on so that it doesn't rot and turn into arrogance. And the last block that sits on the apex is competitive greatness. A real love for the hard battle, knowing that it offers the opportunity to be at your best when your best is needed. On the sides, there are also other two qualities, faith and patience. These ones are there on the sides to remind us that these two qualities have to be present throughout the whole pyramid to keep the blocks in place. And at the end of his talk, he would hand out a printed out copy of the pyramid to each one of the players so that they know what they should expect from him and what he expects from them. This, of course, wasn't all the information he wanted them to know, and at the start, he would make the mistake of handing out a large notepad to each player at the beginning of the season with all the rules and expectations written in it. But as he got older, he realized that this was too overwhelming for the players and caused indigestion, so he started to hand it out in a small, serving-sized pieces to the players throughout the season. This was all just to give you an example of what I meant. So, choose a destination, create a map, have a set of strong and unchanging values and beliefs that will guide you and your team on your journey, and communicate all this to those you lead in the most effective way possible. So, another big responsibility of a leader, as I already mentioned, is to properly communicate with the team to make sure that everyone is on the same page. That everyone knows what to do, how to do, why to do, and when to do. And I really mean everything. That is of importance, of course. For example, Mr. Wooden would literally teach his players how to receive criticism so that it produces results instead of emotional upset. And that is really important, but often neglected thing. And to really get the best out of those on the team, you must make sure that they fully understand how do they contribute to the team's overall efforts. To give you an example, in one season there was a player on Coach Wooden's team by the name of Sven Nater, who was very talented but served as a backup center, so he was on the bench most of the time. But Sven wasn't mad, because he understood that his role wasn't in games but in practice. His role was to sharpen the skills of Bill Walton, who was playing the center. He was a sharpener for the sword. Coach Wooden explained this to him, and he was very eager to accept his role on the team. It is the responsibility of the leader to educate those within the organization that each role offers the opportunity to achieve personal greatness. And if you manage to do this with every member of your organization or a team, you will unleash powerful forces that will make the whole organization stronger, more effective, and more competitive. One of your biggest responsibilities as a leader is to keep the right people within the organization. The people you should look for are team players, people that are eager to sacrifice their personal interests for the welfare of their team or organization. People that are eager to work with you, not those that you have to convince into working for you. People who share your values and beliefs. People with good habits. You don't want people with bad habits, because bad habits are very hard to get rid of, and people with them can also infect others with their behavior. People with genuine enthusiasm. You can create something as Mr. Wooden created, his pyramid of success, to serve you as a reference when hiring people. But be very careful when hiring. You don't want to throw a rotting apple into a pile of good ones. And when you see someone on your team who does little to nothing to contribute, then you must ask yourself some hard but necessary questions. Why is that person in our organization? What is the impact of a negligible producer on the other members? What can we do to enhance that person's contribution? Shall we restructure his current job or make some other fundamental changes that would amplify that person's contributions? Should that person be removed from our organization? Another one of your responsibilities as a leader is to teach good habits. The most effective way to teach them is to do them yourself. Set a good example and people will follow. People are creatures of habit, thus, good habits are an extremely powerful tool, as well as bad habits are extremely destructive. As a leader, you have to have good relationships with each one of those you lead. You don't want to create friends, you are their leader. But there has to be a strong connection between each one of you. Mr. Wooden himself confessed that he had taken his team, with all the assistants included, as an extended family. And that's how it's supposed to be. You really have to truly care about the welfare of those you lead and make it visible by your behavior. That is the only way you can get your team to perform to the best of their ability. A great leader has to lead by example. Show that he means what he says and preaches. This will make the people in your organization automatically behave in the same way as you do, and it also creates respect. And respect, mutual respect, is crucial in leadership. A leader has to have a definite plan of action and execution. Every little detail, every possibility has to be accounted for. And he shall execute the plan properly on a daily basis. And not just do it casually, but to do it exactly as it should be done. Do it right. A great leader has to wear many hats, as you can see, and he as well has to be a good motivator. Because without motivation or purpose, work isn't gonna get done. And if so, then very poorly. In Mr. Wooden's perspective, as well as in mine, a craving to be appreciated by someone you hold in high esteem is a far greater motivator than fear. And it is very easy to say, but very difficult to accomplish. For this to occur, there needs to be mutual respect. And that is built mostly by how you behave, how you present yourself, your appearance, if you hold on to your values, if you are disciplined, if you are true to your word, and things like that create respect. A very important thing to bear in mind is that knowing something and knowing how to teach that information to someone else are two very different things. Mr. Wooden himself experienced this problem when he was just starting out as a coach. He was really good at basketball and he knew a lot about it, but he didn't have the slightest clue on how to teach it. But he became aware of that fact quickly and began learning. Every organization has to have a structure, systems and processes put in place. And it is the responsibility of the leader to create those systems and processes, and once they are created, put them into action, observe them, correct them or totally restructure them if they don't work. Make sure that they are running smoothly and constantly ask yourself, how can we make this better, more efficient, more effective? How can we improve it? A great leader asks how instead of saying no. A leader has to be strict, but it is always better to give yourself more options. You can achieve that by giving strong suggestions with unspecified consequences instead of giving direct rules with clearly laid out consequences. Because people are more afraid of the unknown, and someone can resolve that it is worth the risk for him, but if he doesn't know the consequences, then he cannot assess the risk, therefore he is less likely to do it. This is a pretty obvious one, but the leader must be able to make good decisions based on the available information, under pressure, and regardless of the circumstances. Even when there are people that disagree with him, he must have a steely resolve and stay true to his values and beliefs. He cannot be easily influenced. But it should be in his best interest to find out what's right and not be that concerned about who's right. But he shouldn't neglect the individual that came up with the idea and give him credit. A good leader accepts blame and gives credit. A bad leader accepts credit and gives blame. So now I've covered the responsibilities of a leader. And now let's get to the attributes of a great leader. Time is your most valuable asset if you know how to use it. Time management and effective planning were the two of Mr. Wooden's strongest points. He had very limited time to accomplish his teaching goals, so he really tried to squeeze out the most out of every minute. Each practice was planned to the last minute, and no time was wasted. And each and every day, he looked for ways to make it more effective, more efficient. How can he do more things in less time? That is what every great leader should do. A great leader listens to those that he leads and gives them a chance to express themselves. And also knows how to get around him people that are not yes men, that don't agree with everything he says. That kind of person is just unnecessary. But people that will question his decisions in a respective way, that will always ask questions and give suggestions, come up with new ideas. Those kinds of people are the people that a great leader has around him. A great leader knows how to keep the focus of his team where it should be, on the process. And that is by removing all distractions that can be removed and focusing on the process himself. There are no big things, there is just an accumulation of little things. And little things matter. It is all in the details. One little thing won't change much, but when all the little things add up, it makes a big difference. And a great leader is fully aware of this. For example, Mr. Wooden really insisted that players put on their sweat socks right to avoid blisters that could then distract the player and hinder their performance. Or he had a rule that everyone on the team must have short hair, trimmed fingernails, and no beard. No beard and short hair were insisted on because when you have a beard or longer hair, there will be more sweat, and you can accidentally run your hands through the sweaty beard, and now you just given the opponent an advantage, because your hands will be more slippery, and your ball control will be compromised by that. He also insisted on tying up your shoelaces properly, so they don't untie during the game. And these were the things that added up, and in the end, created national championships. Every leader must have a deep desire to learn and improve. A great leader is a lifelong learner, and he encourages that behavior as much as he is able to in his subordinates. Mr. Wooden reminds us in the book that balance is crucial in everything. Workaholics, for example, lack balance. An imbalance is a weakness that will eventually hurt your performance in all areas of life. And if you hurt yourself, you hurt the team. Every leader that strives for improvement should keep meaningful records so that he can use them to improve in the future. Data is powerful. Patience. A wise leader knows that accomplishing things takes time. As Benjamin Franklin said, genius is nothing but a greater aptitude for patience. A great leader accepts things as they are. He plays the hand he is dealt even when he doesn't like the cards. There are things in life and in leadership that are simply beyond our control. But a strong leader never blames someone or something else for his circumstances and never lets his team to do so as well. Because he knows that things turn out the best for those who make the best of how things turn out. And the last attribute that Mr. Wooden sympathizes very heavily and is one of the core parts of his philosophy is to be a team player, a person that is eager to sacrifice his own personal desires for the welfare of the team. Getting people to think we rather than me is one of the most difficult tasks that a leader can face because it goes against our nature. There is a natural instinct within us to look for ourselves, to take rather than to give. But if an organization wants to have even a slight chance to succeed, it has to be a team rather than a collection of individuals. And it is the responsibility of the leader to accomplish this. to inform and educate every member about how his efforts contribute to the organization's achievements. A player who makes a team great is better than a great player. The star of the team is the team. You have to make sure that these kinds of values and beliefs are present throughout the organization. Your goal is to make the team greater than the sum of its players, and the organization greater than the number of employees on its payroll. If you can accomplish this daunting task, then you are truly a great leader. Thank you sincerely for watching all the way to the end. I hope this video was what you were looking for and that it was of value to you. I would be really glad if you hit the like button or comment so that this video gets to more people. And it will make me happy as well. You can also check out my previous book summary of the book How to Win Friends and Influence People if you're interested. They are both great books and I would truly recommend them to everyone. Again, thanks for watching. See you next time.